Very encouraging, but not enough. We have a long journey to go, but there is positive response coming from the courts. Now to why we are all together. Prisons, as we know, are constitutionally a provincial subject. The responsibility for prison administration rests with the provincial governments. The Constitution mandates that. This conference, therefore, is not for the judiciary setting goals or extending or redefining the limits of prison facilities. What this gathering truly represents is an opportunity for the provincial governments to come together under one roof, by choice and by shared responsibility, to address the challenge that affects not only the prison administration, no, but the functioning and credibility of the criminal justice system as a whole. This effort, which transcends beyond political divide, deserves earnest commendation. I sincerely thank each one of you. There's no doubt about that. Ladies and gentlemen, over the course of my judicial career, I have come to understand that the true measure of criminal justice system is not found solely in the courtroom or in judgments. If one wishes to assess whether the criminal justice system is functioning effectively, its strengths, its weaknesses, and the remedies required, one must look beyond statistics and just visit a prison. Prisons are the end point of the criminal justice process. They are the culmination of what commenced with the commission of that offense. How did the investigation proceed with the investigation? How did the prosecutors prosecute? How did the judiciary administer justice in coming to the conclusion? They expose the system's broader philosophies, its shortcomings, its abilities or inabilities to balance justice, public safety, and human dignity. As for judicial accountability is concerned, I do not stand here claiming that the criminal justice system is delivering perfectly. I'm not doing that. I'm very clear in that. We have judges.
My work is easy because I use ClickUp. Here's how I keep track of all my tasks. I start by brain dumping everything I need to get done in a list view. Next, I set a priority and a due date to keep things on track. I create custom statuses to organize my progress exactly how I want it. I like to add the action items field so AI can show me the next steps. I add my teammates as watchers so they're in the loop. ClickUp makes work easy, from personal projects to running a multi-billion-dollar company. Click the link below to create your workspace for free.
If one link is missing, the burden shifts to the other, and ultimately it leaves lasting scars on the prison. As institution in charge of the administration of criminal justice, we must all recognize that we are responsible for human lives, lives that matter, and lives that we are answerable for. As Chief Justice of Pakistan, who chairs the Apex Judicial Policy Making Committee, the NJPMC. Ladies and gentlemen, NJPMC is a policy making body which has all the Chief Justices of Pakistan, of the High Courts, as members, and the chairman is the Chief Justice of Pakistan. That's where we sit down and we contemplate and decide and determine and recommend. It is a recommendatory body where we recommend what policy is to be adopted. Now, when I became the chairman of this committee, two fundamental issues had to be addressed. First, why, despite regular judicial inspections and statutory reporting system which were in place, cases continue to remain pending beyond reasonable period? Why? One. Two, why statutory grievance redressal mechanism within prisons are not functioning effectively forcing inmates to seek relief from courts. The systems are there. Everything is in place. There was a disconnect. What is that disconnect? Now, it was in this context that we decided that we should have a 3-member committee for each province. 2 parliamentarians, 1 from the opposition, 1 from the treasury, both having served time in prison. And 1 promising young lawyer to assist them as coordinators in their visits to jails and in recommending in drafting their recommendations. Well, visits were done, recommendations were filed, they reached the NJPMC, we passed them on to the provincial governments. We said, these are the recommendations, please, it is up to you how you want to proceed with it. We identified the systemic issues which required to be addressed. I must acknowledge and thank not only the parliamentarians, but also the coordinators of the committee for each province in their time, insight, and commitment devoted to this cause. If I may, I want to name for the province of Balochistan, Ms. Shakir Bibi, Mr. Harun Bilal Sharif, for the province of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Ms. Aisha Bano for the province of Punjab, Ms. Amina Qadir for the province of Sindh, Ms. Haya Iman Zahid. Ladies and gentlemen, this conference for the first time has brought all provinces under one roof. Not to assign blame, but to accept shared responsibility. Ladies and gentlemen, it is very easy for the judiciary to point fingers at the executive, or for the executive to point fingers at the judiciary, or for one provincial government to point fingers at the other. No, we're not to do that. The National Prison Reform Action Plan represents a collective recognition that piecemeal efforts are not enough. What is required is concerted coordination and cohesive commitment. I urge every institution represented here to seriously attend to the pulse of the criminal justice system. That pulse, ladies and gentlemen, is found in our prison. Reform the prisons, the criminal justice system will reform itself. Ladies and gentlemen, I once again extend my sincere gratitude to each one of you for joining us today. Let us resolve that our criminal justice system remains grounded in human dignity and build a system for future generation to be proud of. Inshallah, Pakistan, Paindabad, thank you.
जेल इस्लाहात पर कौमी कॉन्फ्रेंस चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ पाकिस्तान याहिया आफरीदी खिताब कर रहे थे। उन्होंने कहा कि जेल इस्लाहात पर कौमी कॉन्फ्रेंस में शिरकत पर तमाम मंदूबीन को खुशामदीद कहता हूँ। इंसाफ के निज़ाम में कैदियों के हुकूक के तहफ़्फ़ुज़ को कलीदी हैसियत हासिल है। चीफ जस्टिस ने कहा, जेलों में सेहत और साफ पानी की सहूलियात की फराहमी नागुज़ीर है। ज़ेरे इल्तवा केसेस को निपटाने में अहम पेशरफ्त हुई है। जेलों की हालत जार बेहतर बनाना आईनी तौर पर सूबाई हुकूमतों की जिम्मेदारी है। निज़ाम इंसाफ में बेहतरी महज फैसलों से नहीं बल्कि मुअस्सर अमल दरामद से आएगी। चीफ जस्टिस ने कहा, निज़ाम इंसाफ में एहतसाब को यकीनी बनाया जा रहा है। फौजदारी निज़ाम इंसाफ किसी भी मुआशरे के लिए बुनियादी अहमियत का हामिल है।
खबरों के सिलसिले को आगे बढ़ाते हैं। सानिया काना की रिपोर्ट। वज़ीर आला पंजाब मरियम नवाज